That night, after everyone else had gone to bed, I lay awake thinking about what had happened. I couldn't forget what Okita had said. A useless kid. He was right. Compared to the captains, no, even compared to the weakest Shinsengumi foot soldier, I was pathetic. I had been lying there, staring at the ceiling. My actions today were no doubt reckless. I mean, if this happened a little while ago, I'm sure I would have been killed, no questions asked. The fact that I got away with just a lecture shows that they're starting to trust me a little more, but I couldn't go on like this. Tomorrow I start working harder. But no sooner had I closed my eyes than a crazy came into my room. What? There was a crash from the hallway outside my room. I rolled up and out of my bed just as the door exploded into my room. I wonder why he came to her room specifically, or if it was just random. Standing in the hole was one of the Shinsengumi soldiers. Is something wrong? I called out to him, despite being incredibly alert and guarded, but the soldier remained quiet. Did you need something? Blood. Huh? I squinted to get a clearer picture. Just then, his hair instantly turned white. Blood. I need blood. His eyes were ominously red, and he looked directly at me. He was one of the Furies. Give me blood! To top it off, he was completely mad. Just like the warrior I saw that one night in Kyoto. I had to call for help. I couldn't possibly face a deranged superhuman monster on my own. I inhaled, preparing to call for help. No, I couldn't call for help. If I did, then I could risk jeopardizing the Shinsengumi's secret about the Furies. That would spell disaster for the Shinsengumi. I had to find another way. The Fury, unfortunately, was not similarly encumbered by doubts. Ah! His sword hissed through the air, and I felt the metal of its blade burn into the flesh of my arm. Gah! A sharp pain seared into thought from my wound. The Fury saw my blood dripping, and his eyes became even more mad. Lucky he went for the arm and not our heart right away, or our neck or something. Blood sprang from the cut. I pressed down on it desperately with my free hand, but to no avail. Thick red liquid spilled between my fingers, fled down my arm and onto the floor. Yes. Blood. Give me blood. The Fury became increasingly erratic, and he started licking the blood-stained sword. He began to creep toward me, his movements odd and jerky, like a massive spider. Oh no! My back slammed against the wall. I'm going to die. Just when I prepared myself for death, I suddenly remembered Okita's words from earlier that day. Good old Soji. Stop being so timid. You can rely on us when you need to. Okita, everyone! Someone! Help! Blood! Blood! He was down on his hands and knees, licking my spilt blood off the floor. There was no samurai there. It seemed what little humanity he had left him entirely. I used his distraction to gain distance from him. Please, I begged to any god who might be listening, let someone come! Not enough. Not enough! He looked up from the floor. My sleeve was soaked in blood from the cut on my arm. His eyes locked onto it, and I saw them light up with animalistic hunger. His grin was a nightmarish thing. Yes, that! Give me more of your blood! He kicked the floor roughly and came charging at me. No! There was no doubt he was going to kill me. I froze. Get down! Don't look up until I tell you to! I heard a voice from nearby, and I immediately followed the orders and ducked. Gah! The Fury seemed to be shocked to see Hijikata coming out of nowhere. The Fury spun to attack Hijikata, but the commander's sword was faster. He's so awesome, thank you! Ah! His twisted cry reverberated from the room's walls. He writhed in agony, but his wound started to heal immediately. Get over here! Now! Yes! As I ran to his side, I heard other footsteps pounding down the hallways. Everyone's so quick.
You alright, Chizaru?
Hey! Isn't he?
He's the warrior who had to drink the water of life the other day. He's too far gone. We can't let him live.
At some unspoken signal, a chorus of blades slid from their scabbards. Shin! Sano! Don't screw this up!
Who the hell do you think we are, Heisuke? If a captain can't take out a simple soldier, even if he is a Fury, he'd have to resign. Assuming he wasn't dead.
They fanned quickly, circling the wounded soldier. There was no escape. No hard feelings. Whew, man. 4 on 1. Ah! The captains all attacked at once, and the Fury was killed almost instantly. The excitement was over. Or so I thought. But it hadn't been only the captains who'd heard my cry for help, which we were worried about, but we would be dead. And this guy still would have found out.
Ugh. Who's causing such a ruckus at this hour of night?
Ito! Ito rubbed his still sleepy eye, stepped into the room, and froze.
What's going on here?
Damn it.
I've seen that soldier before. I thought he was sentenced to death the other day for breaking the code. And look at all of this blood! Are you guys responsible for this?
Ito, it's not like that. This is...
What is it not like? Why have our captains cut down one of their own men? Explain this at once! What happened here?
Ito was fuming and screaming.
My apologies. My lack of discipline is at fault here.
Sanan? Seeing Sanan, Ito's eyes grew wide.
Sanan? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be dead.
The captains fell silent. Eventually.
I guess we can't keep it a secret any longer. Yukimura, you step out. You can use my room for the night.
Thank you. I know me being here won't do anything, but I wonder if they'll be alright. Would they be able to explain the situation enough to Ito so that he wouldn't freak out? There was so much to worry about, but Hijikata looked at me sternly.
Did you not hear me? I said get out.
Okay. I was worried, but I knew there was nothing else I could do, so I left the room. Yep. We're gonna have to have our falling out time. Huh? Is it morning already? The birds chirping woke me up. I shot up, thrown off initially because the ceiling was unfamiliar to me. I remembered that Hijikata had told me to stay in his room for the night. And at the same time, the events of last night were beginning to flood into my mind. The warrior who'd gone mad. The pain of the blade slicing my arm. I touched my right arm wrapped in bandages. I couldn't feel a throbbing pain anymore, so I took off my bandage to see my injury. Of course it's healed. What had been an ugly open wound the night before was now little more than a faint white line. In a few days, even that would be gone. I wouldn't need any bandages anymore, but... Well, I guess it's good that the wound is gone, but if anyone sees this... I I wrapped myself back up again. It'll be inconvenient to wear, but I'm going to pretend to still have this injury. I wonder what everyone is doing. I decided I'd head to the common room to see what's going on. This part always makes me sad. I've only gone through it twice, but I still feel sad.
Oh, you.
Ito, Miki, and Saito and Heisuke. What are you guys doing so early in the morning?
Well, considering what happened last night, I'm not a heavy enough sleeper to have the kind of beauty sleep I'd need with that noise. You were injured, right, Yukimura? How's your injured arm doing?
Well, it's not that bad.
Is that so? Well, I'm glad.
Huh? His mood was almost the polar opposite of the previous night. He seemed now to be in rather high spirits. Ito, has something happened?
Oh, would you like to know?
Yes.
I won't tell you, but I suppose you might have an idea, though. Isn't that right, Toto? Saito?
What? I cocked an eyebrow at Heisuke and Saito. Yeah, I guess. The moment our eyes met, he looked away. That seemed odd. Saito?
You have no need for this information right...
Good grief. Let's try that again.
You have no need for this information just now.
Unlike his companion, Saito met my gaze straight on, but his eyes were flat and utterly devoid of any emotion. That's why he's a great spy. It was as if he put up a wall. What the hell? That's a little cold of you, having that pass for a goodbye, isn't it? Or did you want to get out of here as soon as possible or something? Get out of here?
Saburo, watch your mouth. We'll be on our way now. Good day, Yukimura.
Goodbye, Yukimura.
Later. And then they were gone, leaving me wondering just what had happened.
Oh, hey, Yukimura. Are you sure it's all right for you to be up and about already?
I'm fine. I slept really well and I feel a lot better. And my wound doesn't seem to be as deep as it looked.
That's great. I'm sorry about what happened to you, though.
It's alright. Anyways, I ran into Ito on my way here. He was acting very peculiar. Did something happen? Inoue and Shimada looked at one another, both wearing troubled expressions.
Ah, so you saw them, eh?
Both Ito and Miki were behaving rather strangely. And Heisuke and Saito were acting kind of strangely, too. I was starting to feel concerned, looking at the two of them for an answer. After some thought, Shimada opened up.
Yeah. Well, Ito and some others are leaving.
What? Leave?
They're going to form a new group, different from the Shinsengumi.
Is that okay?
He had a meeting this morning with the chief and Commander Hijikata.
Guardians of the Imperial Tomb? Yes. I intend to take some of my comrades and leave. We will be appointed official guardians of the Imperial Mausoleum. I have been considering such a move for some time now. But after last night's excitement, I didn't think it'd work out anymore. I knew when I joined the Shinsengumi that my imperialism might not be welcome, but I thought we would work past that. I see now that I was mistaken.
Just spit it out, Ito. Basically, you want to split up the Shinsengumi.
Who's the one that has been deceiving me for the past 3 years?
If you insist, then I will do as you ask. You must remember, however, that last night's incident is a result of orders from the shogunate. We cannot allow you to reveal this secret.
Then I propose a deal. Allow me to depart, peacefully, that is, and in turn I will remain silent. I also wish to bring several of your men with me.
Very well. But anyone you wish to take must agree to leave.
Of course. I will, naturally, maintain the fiction that we intend to continue to cooperate with one another. A stance that will no doubt benefit both of us.
Cooperation. Fine. Toshi, what do you think?
It's your decision, not mine. Then... Heisuke and Saito.
Yes, they are leaving with Ito. I confess I'm rather surprised. I mean, I understand Heisuke since he's known Ito for some time, but I was not expecting it from Saito.
No. Then... would that mean I could never see them again?
Don't worry. Remember what I said? We're going to keep relations amicable between our two organizations.
Kondo. It was kind of him to try and comfort me, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was going to befall the Shinsengumi and its members.
You aren't going to let the men interact with the guard, though, right?
Of course not. He gets to leave, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna let him get away with whatever he wants. But... is this really okay? Ito and the others leaving, I mean. Ito and his men leaving isn't a problem. Although, I was a little surprised that Heisuke and Saito decided to go with that snake.
I would say it was more than a little. But I guess all of this comes from our own faults, and our inability to keep them happy.
From there, the conversation moved to a discussion of politics that was beyond my ability to follow. And what could I have said anyway? The decision had been made, and there was nothing I could have said to change it. I got up quietly and left the common room. I never thought something like this could happen. I looked up to the sky, watching the clouds form in streaks above me, and then lowered my gaze. It seemed like just yesterday that we were all living our normal lives at the compounds. Then, all of a sudden, we've arrived at today, helpless as our troops split amongst themselves. I couldn't wrap my head around it. However, even with all of my confusion, I was especially worried about... it's gotta be the soldiers again, because that's where my boo is. What about the feelings of those who were being left behind? I wanted to know how the people in the Shinsengumi felt about Ito and his followers leaving. I decided to ask... okay, someone neutral with Soji. High ranking is probably the way to go for Hijikata. The heads of the Shinsengumi seemed like the best people to ask, but they were all still talking in the common room. Perhaps I should wait a bit until they were done. Oh. Almost as if on cue, Hijikata appeared in the hallway. This boy always knows when I need him. Oh, hello, Hijikata.
Shouldn't you be resting?
Oh, I feel a lot better now.
Your dad's a doctor, and you know a little about medicine, but that doesn't mean you're invulnerable. Go back to your room and try not to run around too much.
Okay, I'll be careful. Oh, shoot! It was easy to forget one suffered a significant injury when it healed almost completely by morning. I'll go right back to my room, but... can I ask you something first?
What?
It's about Ito, and the people who are leaving with him. How do you feel about all of that?
What do you mean?
Well, people who were members of the Shinsengumi won't be. If I were in Hijikata's shoes, I don't think I could sit still. I'd be so stressed. Either that or I'd blame myself.
We were allies yesterday, but if our positions change, we can be enemies tomorrow. That's life.
But what about Saito and Heisuke? They had all been captains together. Surely Hijikata saw them as friends, at least. Would Hijikata be able to brand them as enemies just because of their change in allegiance? Saito and Toto. It's going to be rough to lose a pair of skilled swordsmen, yes. But think about the future. If they're leaving, they had some problem with the Shinsengumi. Better they leave now than later when the problem gets worse. How could he be so cold and analytical about his friends? Well, I mean, you could view it from the other angle of... I mean, not Saito, because he's actually been assigned to do this, but as far as Heisuke, it's a betrayal to Hijikata as well. Like, instead of talking about his problems, he just left with no warning and threw the friendship away, so it's not really Hijikata's fault. Yet, he made sense. If Ito and company were leaving because they were incompatible with the Shinsengumi, then perhaps it was for the best. But was the best thing for the future of the Shinsengumi also the best thing for Hijikata? I couldn't understand. Listen to your heart, you will understand. My wound healed completely soon afterward, but I kept the bandages on. I didn't want anyone to see that my scar had healed. Since Ito, Heisuke, and Saito all left, the compounds felt so much larger and emptier. Around the same time, Takeda, one of the captains of the Shinsengumi, had also left. They didn't even ask Takeda to go with them. He had to, like, pack his bags himself and follow. That's so funny. I guess these are things we can't help, but it felt as if everyone was going in different directions, off to forge their own paths. I couldn't help but feel sad about it. Although the whole thing with Takeda is pretty funny. I didn't catch that the first time around, but this time knowing that he's always following them like a lost puppy is really funny. And now it's July. 1867. July 1867. 3 months had passed since Ito had left the Shinsengumi, taking his men and others with him. Late one evening, I laid in my warm futon at an hour where I should have been asleep, but... I was tossing and turning in my bed. My mind was wide awake. I wasn't falling asleep anytime soon. But why? I was nervous, certainly, and I'd trained earlier that day, but neither of those was anything new. I needed to get to sleep soon, or I'd oversleep in the morning, and that would be just embarrassing. As I forced my eyes shut for the 1000th time, I heard someone calling out for me. Yukimura, you still awake? The voice outside belonged to Hijikata. I scrambled to my feet. Yes. What is it? You have a visitor. Once you're dressed, come to the common room. A visitor? Who would come to visit me? Especially at such a late hour. I stood, puzzled, but I rushed to get dressed and shuffled towards the common room. It's my friend, trying to save my life. But I've got a butt to touch, so I can't leave. I slid open the door and walked in, and I was surprised at what I saw.
I apologize for disturbing your sleep.
Oh, that's fine, but... You got some crazy bedhead. Didn't you have time to brush it? What? Really? I'm so sorry, Cut the stupid jokes, Soji. Huh? It was a joke?
Don't worry, you don't have bedhead.
Thanks for coming. Please sit there.
Okay. Even Sanon was here. Seeing all the captains of the Shinsengumi gathered, I shook with nerves. I went to sit down in the corner, but... when I locked eyes with the person sitting in front of me, my eyes grew wide. Reason being, the person who was sitting was... blah, blah. Hello, Chizaru! How are you doing? I'm sorry for visiting you so late at night. Sen? So, my visitor was Sen? What could she be doing here? Only then did I notice a beautiful woman, dressed as a ninja, seated next to Sen. Ah, yes, this one is with me. My bodyguard, one might say. Bodyguard? I looked at the captains, hoping someone would explain the situation. Supposedly, she really wants to talk to you. I guess he's leaving it up to me to talk first. So, Sen, what brings you here today? Even though I was nervous, at the very least, our relationship was beyond just acquaintances. Sen looked back at me with a stern expression, and she looked down before speaking calmly. Well, I'll get straight to the point. I've come to take you. Come to take me? What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying. Well, it's actually a long story. I'm not quite sure where to begin. There's no time. We must make preparations to leave immediately. Wait, hold on. Why should I go with you?
Yeah, that's a damn good question. You just barge in here, ask to see her, and spring this on us. Are you her relatives or something? She doesn't seem to have any idea, though.
Sen, can you explain a little more? Yes, I do suppose you have a point. I suppose arriving suddenly and springing this upon you would be rather perplexing. Very well. I shall start at the beginning. It may take some time.
Should we step out?
No, I'd like you all to stay. It does involve the lot of you as well. She glanced around the room, looking at each of the captains, and started to speak. You are familiar with Kazuma, yes? I hear you have crossed swords with him once or twice. How'd you know that? Oh, well, I hear of most things that happen in Kyoto. Eventually. You're something like Kazuma and his punks, aren't you? I would rather prefer not to be associated with his ilk, but yes, in a sense you are correct. Fine. You were talking about Kazuma.
He showed up at Ikeda.
Ikedaya? Is that a miss... That might be a misspelling. I think it's supposed to be Ikeda.
He showed up at Ikeda, Hamaguri, and Nijo. He's got something to do with Satsuma and Choshu, doesn't he?
Well, most of the time it seemed more like he was there for his own reasons, not any kind of domain politics. Either way, he's an enemy of the Shinsengumi. Then you are also aware that he is pursuing your lady friend here. Sen gestured at me for the captain's benefit, then fixed me with a level stare. What was going on? This was getting stranger and stranger, and I was starting to think I didn't really want to know the rest of the story.
We are aware of that. We are also aware that Kazuma and his compatriots call themselves demons. Not that we're inclined to believe such a claim, of course.
No, I do not think that their claim as demons is unfounded. All three of them possess powers that make them incomparable to humans. However, despite their strengths, their presence is virtually unknown amongst the public. In normal circumstances, that is impossible. It's rare for you to say something so kind, Sanan.
So, go on, Sen. Ah, then you know they are demons. Excellent. That will save me some time, then. I am not a human either. I am also a demon. You are? I am, in fact, a princess. Princess Sen. With that, she gave us an elegant bow, exactly like what one might expect from a princess. I come from a family of ninja who have served Princess Sen and her family for generations. It all makes sense now. I'd wondered why you were being so friendly. You were gathering information on the Shinsengumi. I have no idea what you mean. She tilted her head to the side politely and met Hijikata's glare with an innocent smile.
You know her? Move your eyes up about 6 inches, Shinpachi. That's Kimigiku. She's a Dressed a little different from when we met her at Shimabara, but that's her face, alright. What?
Kimikiku smiled.
We demons have lived in this country since a very long time ago. The top officials in the shogunate and in many of the domains already know of us. Most demons had no interest in human matters and preferred to be left alone, to go about their own affairs in peace. However, humans in positions of power saw that they might achieve great things with the assistance of demons, and so demanded that assistance.
And did the demons obey?
Many did not. They felt they had no obligation to involve themselves in human affairs. Human ambition meant nothing to them. But when they refused, the human lords were furious. They sent out great armies to destroy the villages of the demons.
How horrible.
The demon clans scattered across the country and were forced into hiding. No longer isolated in their own communities, they went on to mate with humans. These days, there are few demons who can claim a pure bloodline.
And I assume Kazuma is one of these.
Sen nodded.
Currently, the largest pureblood family is the Kazuma, who have the Satsuma domain support. You have already met the head, Chikage Kazuma.
Chikage Kazuma.
In the east, the largest family is the Yukimura. That would be your family, Chizaru.
What?
I heard that the demons of the Yukimura clan living in the hidden village were destroyed by humans. But it would seem there is a survivor. That survivor is her. Chizaru, the blood that runs in your veins is pure and strong. I sense great power from you.
No way. But...
I had Kiku gather as much history on your family as she could.
I know you may find it all difficult to believe, but you are very much a demon. The revelation of all of this was nearly impossible to comprehend. I was at a loss of words. I mean, I was told I was not a human, but a being called the demon. I couldn't believe it, but... At the same time, all the odd things that occurred all made sense now. Now I knew why Cosmo was after me, and why I'd healed so much more quickly than anyone else.
If you are indeed the descendant of a pure-blooded demon, then Cosmo's desire for you is clear. Should two purebloods mate, they will produce an even more powerful demon.
Ah. So he wants her for his bride.
After a fashion, yes. Cosmo will definitely return for her. Thus far he has been content to toy with you, but I cannot guess how much longer that may last. Should he devote all of his formidable abilities to this task, I do not think he will be able to protect her. Even the Shinsengumi cannot stand against the true power of a demon.
Whoa there, princess. You don't think that's going a bit far? Shinpachi's right. You aren't giving us enough credit.
The only reason you are still alive is because Cosmo and his companions have not turned their full strength on you.
Then let them. I should dearly like to see the power of a true demon.
Sanan! Kazuma and his friends had already demonstrated incredible strength. Even the captains of the Shinsengumi had been easily brushed aside. If that was not even the full extent of their strength, then a battle to the death against one of them would be... Shinpachi and Harada are right. Although they were more powerful than any average human warrior, the difference in power between us wasn't so vast that we couldn't best them, even if they were going easy on us.
Very true. Besides, we've got the demon himself in command, don't we?
Shut up, Soji.
I understand how you feel, but you must realize that these men are unlike any other foe you have faced before. Your guy's job is to protect the safety of Kyoto, not to protect her. That is why I must ask you to leave her to us. In our care, her chances of survival will be much higher.
Hey, give us a chance, alright? Are you trying to say we can't protect her? This may sound rude, but you're talking about the power of two women over all of us. It's hard for me to imagine your thin arms could go head-to-head with guys like Kazuma, Amagiri, and Shiranui.
Look, lady, you're not part of the Shinsengumi, so I'd appreciate it if you could keep your nose out of our business.
Both Sen and Kimigiku seem to be thrown off by the captain's reactions. What about you, Hijikata? You've acknowledged Kazuma's strength. Surely you must at least consider the princess's offer. Please, give her to us. That's different. It's not our style to back out on a promise. We decided we're going to protect her. We're not going to run away just because they're demons. And besides, if you're going to claim that you're a demon, I guess I'll take it, but that doesn't mean we trust you. Do you know who you're speaking to? Princess Sen is a descendant of Suzuku Gozen.
Kimigiku, please, that is not necessary.
Her tone was calm and friendly, but it left no room for argument.
I agree with Hijikata. If she really does have a blood of a different species, we'd like to cooperate with her for internal purposes in the near future.
What? Kimigiku glared at him. She probably didn't say anything out of concern for Sen.
I see. That is a problem, then. There is no way I can convince you?
Hold on a minute. We didn't confirm one important thing.
Important thing?
Yukimura, what do you have to say about this?
Me? Well, I couldn't give an immediate answer. It wasn't that I was doubting sending Kimigiku, but...
I see. It must be difficult to discuss with an audience. You ought to speak with Princess Sen alone.
What the hell, Kondo? Hijikata tried to protest, but Kondo didn't change his expression.
There should be at least one witness. The princess may take Kimigiku as well, of course.
No, that's not necessary. We've been ignoring her feelings this whole time. If she wants to leave this place, then we shouldn't stop her.
Kondo. Damn it. You're so easy on people, as usual.
Well, if Kondo says so.
His words spoke for the rest of them as well. They might not like it, but Kondo was the chief. What he said went. But it was above his title alone. I think his personality usually won out these sorts of issues.
You won't steal her away the moment the two of you are alone, will you?
You needn't worry. Once a demon makes a promise, we keep it.
I'll be fine. Sen isn't a bad person.
Why, thank you, Chizaru.
When she smiled, her expression had returned to that of a girl her age.